to me is the thing with Agnes. So
Oh, stop it. Hi.
over on YouTube. That was not good.
August. You get back to her in August.
Right. All right. So we're actually on YouTube.
Yes, so we're live, guys.
Hello. Who's
Hello.
watching? Um,
Well, I
this
have
is
no idea.
Crisis Talk, I guess.
It is Crisis Talk. This is the premiere. Episodes are dropping from when? Next week, is it, boss?
Um, we might actually drop a little cheeky early episode this week. So obviously, the episode that you guys are gonna listen to now is gonna later obviously be edited and then put available like on the platform as soon as possible. And then we start dropping proper pre-recorded episodes next week. So yeah, but I'm excited for this really. Like I've never done a YouTube live before, so first of all,
Me neither, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
this unique experience. Add this to my CV.
Period.
um,
Great.
but you guys can introduce yourself. Things haven't like this. Isn't a we're not the full conversation starts 3:30, so people should
So
note
this is
that.
like a
But
pre-show.
pre-show indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a meet and greet, if you will.
exactly.
Yeah, I'll
You
kick it
love
off.
the idea of a meet and greet, don't you, William?
Well, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Okay, well, yeah, my name's Palumi, and yeah, my name's Palumi.
And is that all there is to you? Or...
Well, what else? What else do you want to know? Okay.
Greet, come on, greet.
Oh, let me greet. My name's Palumi. I am, a university student. Uni is killing me right now, but my God is greater. Our God is greater, and it's actually in God's hands now. This degree is actually in God's hands. Um, yeah. Well, we're doing yeah, we're doing this. I love. Actually, I'm very excited about like the episodes that we've recorded to come out for season two, um, and this episode right now actually. Yeah, I think the topics were good, and I can't wait to see what people thought. But anyway, what people think, will think. But
Yeah,
anyway,
as you could tell, uni is getting to you.
like no, uni is just mad. It's mad.
What about you, William? Tell us a bit about
Yeah.
yourself.
Well, yeah, as mentioned, I'm William. I've been, I was here in series one, just like Pliny was back for series two. Quite often, find myself having to argue, conservative slash right leaning, sides of arguments. Because obviously, for some reason, our age group just tends to lean so left that me just being centrist makes me seem right, but I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say you're right wing or anything like that. Like
I'm not. I'm just.
exactly. I know you're not.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
and and there's no problem. If you were, there wouldn't be a problem either. Like, let's just make that clear.
well, I
Yeah.
feel like people would have a problem with it. I think people don't realize how like they make things like so politically heated and they expect you to, like there's so much expectation in terms of what you support conservatives, what you support Republican, like nah, that's unacceptable. It's a moral dilemma rather than a political dilemma, and I think that might be a problem.
A big
Yeah.
problem because the left have capitalized on this, extremely well, and they've gotten to a point where they don't even campaign policies anymore; they campaign dreams.
But the thing is, if you look at government right now, like it's the right that is that's in power. Like America is Republican, in the UK it's conservative. Like I'm sure in other parts of the world it's leaning towards right wing. So it's very interesting that like there's this perception that like I guess the left would that are taking over when that's just when that's just not the case.
No, I don't think
Like politically speaking.
I don't think the case is necessarily that the left is taking over as much as it is. Obviously, our social media, a lot of us, the people who follow, will be in our age group, and as you know, a lot of people in our age group, a lot of them, you know, are left, are Labour, are Democrats, blah blah blah. So a lot of the things you're going to see on the social media are going to be left propaganda, and well, propaganda might be a strong word, but you know, it'll be left-leaning things. So it'll seem like the left is so popular, such a majority, but the truth is, when it comes to voting day, we all like the tweets on Twitter, but when it comes to voting day, you're thinking about your taxes and, you know, what government's actually going to do what, and the coronavirus and X, Y, and Z, you know, and the right tend to get the actual votes because their policies tend to favor the people who, you know, actually register. Because there's also a big problem. The people who would be benefited by the left don't register. Unregistered voters abstain on voting day. You know, don't even, you know, pay attention to much politics and stuff like that. So it's
I do think,
as you can tell, you're already getting to see these guys' personal point of view, and this will definitely be reflected in the what's it called, in the episodes later in the future, because it definitely plays into how they see the remaining topics that we discussed. But you're about to say something, Plumi.
Yeah, no. I was just about to say, I think it's very important for people to use their rights to vote. If we have an American viewer, you know, the election is coming soon. Like, just get out there and vote. And
Trump
yeah,
or
like,
Biden. Don't feel this media pressure.
right. Like, vote. Just get out here and vote. That's all I would say. Like, I think that the people who fought for the right to vote, like, their fight is not going to be in vain. Like, whether you are a Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever party you support, just go out there and vote. But it's interesting what you were saying, William, because 50 Cent, I think it was, he put up an Instagram post and he said, because of the taxes that the Biden campaign were going to propose for people that made over $400,000. He said, because I think the number was 65% of tax, or that was going to be taxes, or 62% it was, and then 50 Cent was like, "Oh no, we're not voting for Biden. Let's vote for Trump." So, like, it's just to your point of what people think in regards to taxes and stuff.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Cool. What are you both looking forward to most about this season of Crisis Talk?
If I could go first on this one, this year's a Crisis Talk. For me, what I'm looking forward to is the actual balance and the actual respect in these kind of discussions and debates. Because you know, in the past, you know, sometimes, you know, debates were had just so that people can scream and shout, and not necessarily for people to, you know, I'm not pointing anything. You know, I was just as guilty, if anything. Yeah, but this time around, you know, we got Lisa, slightly different vibe. Lisa's a bit more. Although Lisa's quite on smoke, she's a bit more relaxed than a Shy in terms of, you know, how emotionally driven. Don't get that to say that Lisa's some calm little go with the wind. No, she's still on smoke, but she's still, you know what I mean? There's a sophistication to it. And I guess that's what I'll say. Series 2 of Crisis Talk is a lot more sophisticated. We don't shout on the mic anymore.
Oh no! Like,
well, now we have mics. What do you mean?
Yo, we have mics now.
Don't think that, like, sometimes it probably will get quite shouty. What I'm looking forward to
a degree.
Yeah,
but the heaviness comes to the level of the content, and I think it definitely makes people, like, at least when I've listened to it, it makes me, like, think a bit deeper about, you know, day-to-day issues as well, and how it links to the larger picture, which is hopefully what we can offer.
Yeah, and what I'm looking forward to, I think that I'm just looking forward to, like, but in such, like unprecedented times. And I even hate saying that because I feel like that's just been said a lot right now. But I feel like these conversations are important and they should be had. And yeah, you know, we have Lisa. I think that Shy brought um her own vibe to the show in season one, and everything that she did, um, I am so thankful for,
No, she did big.
because like, you know, she was there with the facts, like she brought on like good guests and stuff. So yeah, so shout out to Shy, but yeah,
Shout out
yeah,
to
and like
Shaggy.
this season, I'm looking forward to the guest as well. Like, if we're gonna have guests and like see how that dynamic is going to be like. Yeah, and then Lisa as well. She's done amazing work with kids of color. She's an activist. Like, yeah, it's from the episodes that we've recorded so far. She definitely adds like what she wants to say is like this is what she's saying, and like it's interesting. I can't wait for people to hear the episodes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited. What are you looking forward to, Sam?
So I guess just to introduce myself, I'm Samuel Remy
Yes.
Akinwale. Myself and Pulumi are co-founders of Creation Foundation, and I'm currently the lead producer on Crisis Talk. I think it's just the widespread like range of topics that we can have. I'm particularly seeing how impactful this can be, and how, you know, the impact is probably, it's probably my the bit that excites me the most. You know, I really want this this podcast to be not just an educational tool, I mean, not just an entertainment tool, but also a form of education, in terms of a space that you can get critically analyzed perspectives on varying perspectives to a particular issue. And as guests, I want to see what kind of guests we can get. Like, I hope one day, you know, maybe the podcast will elevate to the point that we can get individuals like Trevor Noah, who've like very lived, like, you know, I guess like he's the only example of someone that I know that's lived such an interesting dynamic of an issue, you know, in regards to apartheid in South Africa. And like, you know, maybe just people who've just lived lived through very, I guess, interesting dynamics and challenges that the world is facing, and that can really bring it to the surface. And I want to really see how you guys like pick it apart, and what perspective you leave like our age mates with, like, you know, what yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's particularly, I guess, what I'm excited for. I'm also excited to hopefully get sponsors. You know, it's been great to see Crisis Talk being sponsored by Under Armour. Or yeah, I don't know why I said Under Armour. Maybe it's because they sponsor The Rock and Anthony Joshua. So I'm a bit predisposed to them. Cool. What other good sponsor would be there? Maybe you know, a good brand that I like right now. I really like Patagonia. They have a great reputation, but also because of I think it's their lifetime guarantee kind of thing. When I went in the store, they explained something like that to me, and it just blew me away. So I was like, I rate you. And yet I don't own a single piece of Patagonia gear.
Why not? Patagonia, they're good.
Broke.
I rate Patagonia as well. Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And then we can also work with like I think like working with like brands like even like the Shade Borough in the UK.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
The Shade Room in in America, like
I
don't know, like
columns.
Huh?
I was looking at, you know, collabs between podcasts. I was like,
yeah, collabs between podcasts. If we imagine if we did like the the 90s Baby Show podcast. That'd be really cool collab.
But none of your 90s babies. What do you mean?
I mean,
Well,
No,
apart
William is.
Apart from William, like
I think Lisa is as well.
As well.
Lisa. Oh, yes, she is. Oh,
Yeah, it's just me and you, Sam, I guess.
shame.
90s Baby Show, the Receipts podcast would be good to collab with.
Yeah.
Just like Sliders Pod, definitely Sliders Pod. We love
Sliders
them. The What You Saying podcast, like just different podcasts that we could work with.
I was gonna say Snacks Daily, but I realized no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's not the greatest overlap.
Yeah. But maybe it's something that, you know, Creation Foundation could create a podcast specifically just to collab with them at some point. I'll think of that.
The finance genre, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. Is there a brand that you'd want to collab with, William?
To be fair, there's a girl called Kia Commodore who hosts a podcast called Pennies to Pounds, and she's like, you know, she does like personal finance. That's what her podcast's all about, like. And I feel like she'd be really great to have on it. You know, I think she's Nigerian. I'm not sure. But she's a black lady. You know, her podcast is quite popular. She'd be sick, you know, to do like a whole like financial literacy in the black community kind of episode, or, you know, or why is poverty so prevalent in the black community kind of vibe, or stuff like that. And I think it would be.
Yeah, it sounds like something I should be listening to as well. I'm glad.
It depends on your personal finances situation. Like, if you feel like your personal finances are all over the place, then maybe you should.
Well, you know, how do I start?
You know, if you've done a budget before, like, and you know, and you have a budget for your own account and stuff, then some of the stuff she'll go through, just you're really listening to see the interesting point that she adds. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be stuff you kind of.
For me, pardon, carry on. Sorry, you broke up for a second.
No, sorry. I was just saying, like, you know, if you've already got like a budget for your account and you kind of like, you know, got your, you know, your personal finance kind of a bit put together and stuff, then, you know, when you listen to that, it will be stuff that you kind of already understand. But it's just more about, you know, seeing her interesting take on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's other podcast called Dreams Money Can't Buy as well. Shout out to her.
Is that? Oh yeah, by Gabrielle. Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long. Like, sorry, in my head, because I normally call her Cinderella in it, so I had to like translate the name.
What a cute nickname!
Hey, not the space or time, bro. What do you mean? But yeah, okay.
I'm sure she's doing.
We just also the final host as well, Lisa. I found this a good experience working with Lisa, like, because we've worked together in the past, but never at this capacity. And I think I'm excited to see how this goes in the long run, because I definitely think we have, like, even in the cast, like, we all have different strengths. It's like a nice dynamic, like, cohort of people. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see how long we can go for this long, run for, and you know, yeah. Hopefully, if you're listening as well, please comment, like, add in the chat section. I'll be monitoring that. I'm not a castmate, so like, just to let you all know, and I think let's get the conversation started, really.
Let's get the conversation started.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Polybi's tagline. Lisa will be joining us in 2 minutes. But yeah. Any other questions that you think we should deal with before we get started?
I feel like this probably isn't appropriate necessarily for YouTube Live. You know, it's more business, but yeah, I feel like, you know, we should do a podcasting consultation session for Crisis Talk. You know, we set a meeting, you know, whether it's me, you, Palumi, and Tafa, or if Lisa wants to come. You know, we kind of, you know, go through like the marketing plans and stuff like that, and like monetization plans for the future.
Okay. That'll be interesting. Yeah, we should definitely do that at some point. My uni stuff settle down for a second first before we could have a meeting because I'm really struggling with
Uni
this.
is in God's hands. Like I feel like that's
Yeah.
the general consensus that's going on in society. Like it's
Yeah.
actually in God's hands. Like yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
them ones,
and
don't hold us accountable to our grades.
like
No.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I'm just gonna try my best.
Well,
That's all you can do. If you survived college, we can survive this. That's what I keep thinking in my head. Like
It's true. It's true. You know, you're stronger since. You know,
it's okay, Sam. It's
Sure.
okay.
you know, I'm really liking this hair. You know, Sam.
Yeah, it's nice.
thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, I also feel like my face is getting chubbier because I've not been able to jog. I feel like my face is becoming more round, which makes it feel weird.
You're eating good. We love to see it.
There you go.
Actually, I am. Like I've been learning how to cook in the past week in London. So
nice. What kind
Not
of dish you
information.
making yourself?
okay, let's go. Don't even know how to like those like a chicken fajita, but not in a wrap kind of way with pasta. And it was really nice. I wish I could show you guys pictures. One sec. It's bad that, you know, camera quality for what's it called? It's horrendous. But this can you see that?
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
You went for the aesthetics as well on that one, Chief.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting support. So
Ooh, with the he's eating like a king, like the Black King he is. Amen.
you know,
Amen.
can't be. This was like a egg fried rice, but with like a chicken next to it.
Okay.
As you could tell, the chicken was already getting devoured. My bad.
Halfway scanning, and so hey, let me take a picture.
Yeah, I forgot, but yeah, like stuff like that. It's been a fun experience. Let's just say that, you know, forget date night out. You know.
No, yeah, forget about it.
Yeah.
There's something that
Yeah, like go on dates with yourself as well. Like
Wait, what?
I was actually about to say the opposite. There's just something about there being rice at home that just kind of feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe it out, all these expenses.
I would can't even go out anyway. Like, you know, lockdown restrictions. But what I mean by go on dates with yourself.
I would like to put William on blast.
Stop it.
William's
Stop it.
William's food budget for a night out. So this is not the overall budget, I think, for just a date. But his food budget for a date is £100. I would really like. I don't even know if anyone's listening to this right now, but I would really like someone to tell me what they think about that. Is this acceptable? He is 20 years old. I like
21.
Well, I guess I
21.
was 20 when I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has that budget.
Damn.
Personally, I can't do that. I can. I choose not to. I don't think, you know, I don't think it's worth it right now.
No, and that's why you're smart. You choose not to. But you know, we learn from mistakes, innit? It wasn't a mistake.
I wouldn't say a mistake. Yeah, it wasn't a mistake. But I think that it's really important. When I think go on dates with yourself, somebody sent it to me on like an Instagram post because they saw an Instagram post, and I was like, yeah, it's good to just like take yourself out, like, or even take yourself in, like cook for yourself, have like a nice meal, and you know,
right there is just my life. Like,
but like do it with intention, you know, do it with intention, I guess. Take yourself out.
Of eating.
Stop. Well, it doesn't just have to be eating. You could do some other things as well by yourself. Like go for a nice picnic.
Alone time's amazing. In fact, I like it almost too much.
Yeah, like I went to the cinema. Like I remember one time we went to the cinema, right? And it was, I think we wanted to go see one movie, and then it turned out to be another movie, and then William and some other of our friends were there, and they didn't want to watch that movie, and then I was just like, okay, well, bye then. Like I was good to watch it, and it was just a cool vibe.
Okay.
So take yourself out sometimes, people.
Advice.
Do you
from
remember that, William? No?
Fatayo. Pardon?
I do remember it. Yeah, I do.
Good.
Yeah. I'll try to do that at some point. You know.
Yes.
But one thing I do want to mention though is the average date price in the UK is £106.
Oh. Hi,
Why
Lisa.
you-
Have you been on a date for £106 before?
A date? Yeah.
For £106?
£106.
£106?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fuck? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you pay that £106 or even half of it?
Well, actually, no, because it's a date.
Pardon?
If it's a date, like with a guy.
So the guy is dropped. Right. So okay.
Bro, to date these black girls, you need to make money.
Okay.
Oh, that's an episode in itself.
That's true.
Clearly, I'll leave you guys from here to take over this
I was
lovely
exaggerating.
conversation.
Oh no, it's all good.
You don't have to, it just helps.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah. Very much looking forward to listening to this conversation. For the viewers to listen to it, it'll be out on our platform in a day or so. Here are our lovely hosts, William, Pudumi, and Lisa. They'll do their own introductions again, and yeah, you're tuned into Crisis Talk. Yes, we are live. If you guys also want to turn on original sound, it's just in the top corner of your screen. It helps with the recording so that, you know, yeah, everyone can see. Yeah, we'll be watching and people will be on the comment section as well. So yeah, I'll catch you guys soon and take care. This is Crisis Talk.
Hello.
Hey,
Everyone.
what's good?
You know, we're surviving. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just getting by as well as
You
you
know,
can be.
Yeah.
The world is just a chaos right now, to be quite honest. That's just the best way to describe it.
Mad. I just don't even know
Well,
what to say sometimes. Like,
Honestly.
because I just can't believe it. Like, because like yesterday, like when I found out like everything that was happening in Nigeria,
Yeah.
I was on my way home, and then I was like, you know, trying to process it, and then I got home, and then I was just like, they're killing people.
I just saw it. I went on my phone and then I saw it on Instagram. Like someone had posted and I was like, surely this can't be real. So then I jumped straight onto like BBC News and I'm seeing it. And I just had to turn my phone off because I was just like, look, today, that's too much.
Yeah.
So I just had to come off the social media again. But yeah, mental health before anything else, guys.
Period.
You need to put yourself in a good state of mind.
Exactly. Because this year, man, like 2020.
It's been a lot.
It's been. There's only 2 more months. There's actually only 2 more months. But yeah, before you came, Lisa, we were talking about what to expect from this season and what we hope to see. So, what do you hope from this season?
From this season, I hope people are heading down the direction of being critical thinkers and also learning things that they can take into their everyday lives, per se, or even talk to other people about. Almost like helping people go through the journey of awakening and providing not just like juicy conversations, but also things that are very like informative and factual as well. So that's kind of like what I'd want people to get from this season.
Yeah, me too. Like, I think that it's such a like, especially because we're tackling the issues affecting the Black community. I think that is so important for podcasts like this, for shows like this. And it's not just because like I'm like we're on it or like, you know, it's done by Creation Foundation and stuff. I think that like just having content like this is so important at this time.
100%.
And yeah, I'm excited as well for this season, for the episodes that we've already shot to come out, to get what people's thoughts were. And yeah, and I also am excited to, because you know this the our tagline is unifying the Black community through our differences.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for
get into a position where you can actually see if we're actually going to achieve that.
Yeah. Okay, so should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Okay. Well,
I'm here for this one. I don't know how I'm feeling. The mood is just like
I know.
I feel really tense for some reason today. I'm just like, obviously, we've touched on this conversation before, and it kind of got a bit higgy hagger at some point. It got a bit rowdy, but so
let's see what happens today.
I'm a bit scared, like.
Let's see what happens.
All in the same proximity.
No, we got to keep it professional today, guys. We're on YouTube, you know, we're live, you know.
I know, yeah.
Okay. Right, drop the topic. Let's go.
Okay, so this is Crisis Talk, a podcast that is aimed to discuss, debate, and dissect the issues affecting the Black community. My name is Palimi, and
what's the people? It's your girl Lisa,
and it's the one, the only William Sianji.
Period. And Crisis Talk is a podcast aimed to unify the Black community through our differences. So today we are going to be talking about how does my race affect my uni social life. That's what we changed it to. So as Lisa said, we've kind of done this before, but this time this topic is more specific. So I'll start off with my opening thoughts. Sorry for the tapping, by the way. I'll start off with my my thoughts. I think that your race subconsciously affects your social life at university, and depending on the university that you go to, it becomes such a magnified thing. So if you go to a university that is diverse, then it's magnified in a way. But if you go to a university that's not diverse, it's still magnified. I don't feel like there's a middle ground. I don't feel like it's either one extreme or I feel like it's either one extreme or not. It's very rare that you find that like middle ground. Balance. Yeah, that balance. Yeah. And obviously it does exist. I just haven't seen it. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Lisa, what do you think?
100%. I think your race most definitely has an impact on your university experience in terms of like your social bubble. Personally, for me, it's like I had went to I've had a predominantly white education or like institutions. I've always been surrounded by, you know, white people being the majority. So when it came to university, a place that I felt like was really independent, you're going to be alone for the majority of the time, you know, I wanted to replicate a space that felt like home. So I specifically made a decision to come to a place that was, or go to a university that I could visibly see the diversity and see lots of people that looks like myself. Again, you know, not to say that I've kind of diminished other races for say, but for myself in particular, I haven't really made much friends from different races. That's not because it's intentional. It's just you know, I'm constantly around like Black people and stuff. So 100%, like your race does have a massive impact on your social bubble in university. Will, here we go. Drop it on us. Let us know what your thoughts are.
No, well, yeah, obviously your race has an impact on your social bubble and whatnot. Black people do seem to find themselves gravitating towards other Black people. And there's no problem with that, none at all. But you know, I just feel like there's certain black people out there who almost, whether it's conscious or subconscious, you know, close themselves off to, you know, making friends in other racial groups, and you know, and have, you know, a diverse multi-ethnic group of friends, you know what
I
I'm saying?
think what's important to highlight with that is a lot of these other races, especially the university that I'm at, every race sort of gravitates to themselves anyway. So trying to sort of like intervene in, I guess, a social bubble that's already been constructed is very intimidating. And might not necessarily happen. Like, I think the only times university kind of like provide an opportunity where you might be able to mingle with people from like different backgrounds is maybe when you do group works, and they're completely random. Like your lecturer will pick who your group kind of thing is. But then even then, it's like the room for actually making friends with these people isn't really there. It's like, it's more, we've got work to do. That's what we're there to do. So it does make it, I don't think it's okay or fair to say, you know, there's certain black people out there that just completely close themselves off.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to close yourself off when you're like a minority within a minority anyway, you know? So
Yeah. But I think
Go on, you go for.
yeah, no, just to add to your point, I do think because like black people specifically, in certain areas of society, they've kind of been ostracized, and they've kind of been depicted
English.
English. They've kind of been depicted in a certain type of way. And if you're in spaces where people have those like certain ideals of you, you kind of do tend to, I guess, close yourself off because of the fact of like you already think I'm like this anyway. I might be completely different.
Different.
You already have that perception. So then it's kind of, it's like a barrier that's already put up. And then, but that barrier can be broken down because there are loads of people there are loads of black people that are in multiracial groups.
I wanna ask you guys a question. Why do you think black people are more likely to gravitate to each other, especially in university?
I think there's multiple answers to that question. I feel like an obvious answer to that question is cultural differences. Most people would agree with. That's the obvious answer. But an answer that could cause some controversy is that I feel like on a subconscious level, you know, black people are still a bit scared of white people.
What do you mean by scared? Be careful now.
Exactly. Well, what I mean is, I don't know. I've definitely seen it with my own eyes. So, you know, this is not like me going crazy.
In what I don't understand.
No, what I'm about to describe what I'm saying when I say it with my own eyes. And that is black people actively avoiding white people and actively, you know, seeking out other, you know, ethnic groups. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I don't necessarily have a problem, you know, be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. I get it, because, you know, there's cultural differences, like we say. But for me, when it comes to all this, is where I, you know, have a bit of an issue, if anything, is when there's people who maybe, you know, the cultural differences, maybe that, you know, their perception of the world, maybe they kind of identify better with, you know, like a white group or something. Then all of a sudden that black guy, oh, he's now the white guy, he's now the black guy choosing all the white folks. He's white, he's this, he's that. I've seen that from personal experience. When I went to sixth form, you know, I had a lot of white friends. And all the black people in my sixth form were like, oh, William's so white, you're such a Barry, you're such a this, you're such a that.
Right.
So are we now saying I must have black friends? Like, and if I don't have black friends, all of a sudden I'm not black anymore.
Palumi, you've been quiet. Touch on that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody is saying that you shouldn't have white friends. I feel like there's so much beauty and richness in having a group of diverse, of diverse friendship groups. I think to touch on what you said about Black people being scared, I feel like trauma passes on. So we might not have been slaves or enslaved in the way like our ancestors were. However, the trauma that they went through passes on through generations and passes on through our skin as Black people. So I directly might not have been a descendant from someone that was enslaved or a slave, but because I am Black, because we are Black, I feel like that trauma passes on. So because of that trauma, there might be a subconscious fear of white people in general, and I feel like it's because of the history of the relationship between Black people and white people. I feel like it's changing. I do feel like it's changing. I feel like it is something that is going to be continuously worked on. But I think the history of what happened is an effect of what William said. And then another thing, when it comes to uni, I think that ACS, the society, makes it easier for you to meet Black people, for you to connect with Black people. So for uni specifically, I feel like ACS does that. But ACS is like when I was in ACS and when I was doing it and like the vice president, like it wasn't just for Black people. Like anybody could have joined ACS. Like a white person, Asian person, like anybody could have joined ACS. It's just that we just tend not to see people from other races. But yeah, how about you, Lisa?
I think for me personally, I want to kind of like touch on this white fear that you guys are like talking on, and obviously rope it into university in particular, because some people will sit here and be like, oh, slavery, yeah, but that was donkeys ago, and you know, people shouldn't like bother about it anymore. But then they completely dismiss the other forms of racism that is still existing and prevalent in today's society. Do you understand? And the traumas that live within just everyday experiences of like Black people. For example, the majority of your lecturers might not be, well, in my case, I've only had 2 lecturers in my 3 years that were people of color, and they were Indian Asian descent. I've not had 1 Black lecturer as of yet. Therefore, within university, I want to sit around Black people. I want to have a Black sort of like social group and social bubble, because I'm already in a space that doesn't represent, or that I don't really resonate with on a racial sort of like level. Therefore, for me to feel comfortable enough to be in those spaces and feel like, okay, you actually belong in a white space, if to say, yeah, I will surround myself with Black people just so that I feel comfortable and that I feel like, okay, yeah, I'm accepted in white spaces for say. On top of that, again, I don't think it's a thing of Black people are scared of white people. I think Black people just want a safety net and a comfortability, because throughout the majority of your education, you've probably been in a situation where you've had to be friends with white people. Or for example, well, in your situation, you went to a school that by default, like the majority of your friendship group happened to be white. Do you understand? So then obviously my experience will differ from Will. I then thought I couldn't hack that, I confirm it. So I would be like, no, I need to go and be around my people just so that I have more comfortability when I'm in university. And then yeah, alongside with like the cultural element of it, I feel like Blackness isn't appreciated and explored enough throughout races in general. So again, Black people will bring each other, will I said resonate, will gravitate to each other a lot more so that we can explore our cultures and not feel judged or not feel sort of like penalized or feel any type of way from cooking our dishes, whether that's pounded yam or just, I don't know, jollof.
Yeah. But when it comes to like you are friends with many people, and they're white, they're Asian, they're like it. I don't think you decided to be friends with them because they were white. Your personality is just just went on. And sorry for the tapping if anyone can hear it.
It's like, it's literally that thing of like, oh, I know that I am intimidating to white girls because there's this stigma that black girls are aggressive and they're rowdy. However, another black girl will not feel that way. That's why I will most likely go and be friends with a black girl, because I know that those stigmas are not going to be there. Or when I'm being loud and being like pompous or whatnot, it's not seen as like I'm being aggressive or having an attacking nature. That's just me being me.
Yeah, and then to add on to that, like some people, some white people might just see you and not even see you as aggressive or see you as any of. They might just see you as a person, and then they gravitate towards you. It's more to do with like personalities, and like sometimes when it comes down to it, it's not like there's nothing. It's not like there's anything wrong. Like, let's not try and like force friendships. You know, sometimes people just, their personalities don't get on together, and especially at uni, just because you do the same course doesn't mean, because that's like an interest that you would think that, okay, I do the same course, so we must have other interests that align, but that's not necessarily the case. So when you do group work, it's just a matter of, oh, we're doing group work and then that's it, because your personalities don't align with each other, and that's okay. And I don't think that's anything to do with race. I mean, I feel like race plays a part of it, because you know, you have cultural differences and stuff like that, but sometimes your personalities like just don't merge well together. They don't bang. And that's okay. Exactly. And that's okay. But like in William's case, for example, when he was in college or when he's in uni, he finds people that so happen to be white, or Asian or whatever, and their personalities bang and it works. But that doesn't mean he's friends with every white person that he meets. You know, like there's nuances to these things. Like it's not one size fits all. William, you've been very. What do you want to say?
No, yeah, definitely not. It's not a one size fits all. But I feel like we've still disregarded what I'm saying here, that ultimately, you know, there's still that cognitive bias that exists where you even just demonstrate there, because you in your head believe, now maybe it's, you know, justified by your own experience. I'm not trying to take away from that. But you know, that a group of white people will assume that, you know, you're aggressive, you're this, you're that. And I don't know, for me, the way I kind of look at it is, well, you being you can be your chance to show that, no, it's not that this stigma of black women are so this and that is actually not true. I'm just a calm person. Okay, maybe when I'm angry, I'm very angry, but that's just a personal.
Yeah, but when anyone's angry, they're
angry to get
that. I feel like that's the point that, like, I think you that like you understand as well. Like, I think you get that, like, it's not, I feel like white people or racist white people tend to make this mass generalization of black people, as if to forget that white people and black people are human beings, like at the bare minimum. So because we're human beings, everybody's allowed to get angry, allowed to get sad, and allowed to feel their emotions in whatever way they want to feel it. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. Like, I get what you're saying, William. I think that is true. I feel like, but then I feel like it's also adding pressure though to black people to be like, okay, because now I am in this white space.
I have to like behave and act a particular type of way.
Yeah, but then some people don't feel that pressure.
That's the cognitive bias, because exactly, I don't feel that whatsoever, believe me. I'm just me. And, well, people just rate me. So I just become friends with people.
I think, you know what, honestly, that is great that you feel that way. It's great that you go through that. Like, well done. Must be nice. But I think what we really need to sort of like establish here is something called racial battle fatigue. And this is like the hidden just tiredness that Black people generally feel. Like, again, it's almost like what Palumi was talking about in terms of like when you go into a space that's sort of like white, or when there's when the majority is white, internally you will automatically feel like your presence is known, so I have to behave and act a certain way, and that is very draining on oneself. Regardless, you can sit here, Will, and be like, no, I'm just me, I'm just myself, but a part of you will completely, you'll code switch in certain situations, because
Yeah, but that's not purely down to race. Like,
it might not be purely down to race, but it's still a contributing factor towards it, and it will still have an effect on the fact that, like, as a Black person, I just don't have the liberty to just be who I am and just do whatever it is that I feel like doing when I'm in a space with other races, for say. Whereas when I'm around my own, I don't have to think about that. You know what I mean? Like, I can very much just be comfortable with who I am or behave the way that I want. So when we come down to university, it's like, this is what I wanted to ask you guys. Did you guys consider your race before even coming into university? Like, did your race have a part to play in where you were picking people
that I went to? For me personally, I stayed at home, and my city is already like a diversity, and it just kind of just worked out like that. But because you have to pick 5 options, like some of the unis that I would have gone to, that I could have gone to, just didn't suit that. Weren't as diverse as the city I'm from. So I kind of wonder, what if I did move? How would that look like? What would my experience be? But, in a lot of ways, I'm like William. Like, I know that these things exist, and I try to just move ahead with it. But it's like I said, like, this year has been, we move because you just always have to move. So I guess I just thought, okay, this is the uni I'm going to, this is the course that I'm doing, and we move, I guess. And and then on top of that, I just believe in God as well. Like, God's got me, and literally God's got me with this degree because it's God that is going to get this degree. But that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on, William. How did your race affect your uni choice?
No. The degree that even affected my uni choice, I came to Newcastle because it's it's got good reviews. There's some people I already know, and it's ranked highly for my course. So they have a cheap price of living. That was what went into it.
Okay, well,
I'm friends with. And
well,
have ACS, like, I do get the cultural difference. So to go back to what you're saying about, how you kind of have to bring out a side of yourself, and you can't be fully comfortable. But I feel like that's not necessarily a downside to anything, because I feel like that with Black people as well. Because with Black people, as a side to myself, I can't bring out that is more suited to when I'm chilling with my white friends. And, the simplest way I could describe it is like, like, if you go out on a date with a woman, you don't want to be your goofiest, cheesiest, most jokiest self. You know what I mean? There might be a different vibe to you that you come with when you go out on that date with that woman. And it's just the same thing. Like, there's a different part of you that's alive when you're dealing with different situations.
100%. Like, we'll never ever take away from that. I think that's really important, like, to highlight and identify. But for me personally, I would rather be in a situation where I know 9 times out of 10 I can just be myself, rather than sort of like only having to experience who I am as a person 3 times out of the 10 times. Do you know what I mean? Because that's very draining and that's very tiring.
Yeah.
But Guys, I mean, that was a very chill conversation.
I
Like,
know.
yeah, it was all right. I don't know if we were like holding and biting our tongues, or if just like, the music
You know,
was
it's
just,
just a YouTube live session, innit? You know,
put a little
ease
damper
them in.
on things a little bit. But hopefully for our listeners and everyone that's tuned in, I hope that you found it informative. Let us know what you guys think. Has your race influenced your university experience, regardless of what race you are or what you identify as? Let us know. Make sure that you guys follow us on all the social media at Creation Foundation. Hit us up on the Instagram, drop us a cheeky DM, let us know how you think our podcasts are going, and we hope that you enjoyed our beautiful faces this time.
Yes. Yes, and sorry, and before we go, I just feel like we just have to say this. Rest in peace to all of the lives lost at the hands of the Nigerian government, who decided to open fire and kill their people.
Disturb a peaceful protest.
So sorry, I just felt like we needed to say that, but yeah.
No, I respect
Yeah, this
that.
world, man, this world.
Guys, also, I know it's very horrible, but please do keep tabs on what's going on in the world. I
Definitely.
think this is a point in time where we all need to really stand together and be unified. Like, despite the fact that a fight might be across the continent, it is still everybody's fight. At the end of the day, we're fighting
Definitely.
a brutal system that
Yeah.
exists in every country in various different forms
Mm-hmm.
of institutions. So yeah, 100%. Our heart goes out to Nigeria at this time. But thank you very much.
Africa.
Africa,
Yeah.
the world, America,
The
England,
world, yeah,
you are in the world.
everywhere.
Tough world out here. But thank you very much for listening, and we hope to catch you next time on Crisis Talk.